the most satisfying moment from your professional skating career would be what?
Most satisfying moment was making 900 for sure, because it was something that I wanted for so long, and I had tried and failed for a good 5 years before I finally made one. And the fact that I made it in what then was the biggest venue on live TV, you know, that's not something that was ever in my head that I had to do it there, but the fact that it did work out there, it was a big deal, and I feel like it definitely raised the profile of skateboarding and action sports in general.
Yeah, how would you best explain the significance of landing that trick?
It was the culmination of a list of tricks that I always wanted to do in my lifetime that I thought were possible, and stuff that I had been carving out. I'd check one off, I'd get this one, okay, what's next? I want to do this, and eventually I'd get it. 900 was a trick that I had been chasing, been trying, been killing myself doing, and never came through. And I had never tried a trick and failed at something for so long.
In 1986, the first time you tried the 900, then you don't try it again for another decade. The most challenging part of not only landing it, but perfecting the 900?
Well, on a 540, you have to be at least 4 or 5 feet above the ramp. On a 900, you've got to be more like 6 feet, unless you're able to spin amazingly fast. But the thing about a 900 is you're blind to your landing zone twice. And that doesn't mean you get to spot it halfway between. That just means you have to feel the spin in your body. It's like the sixth sense. You just have to know where you are in space without seeing it. And that's the most challenging thing, is to commit yourself to that spin when you really have no idea how you're going to end up.
That 12th attempt that you end up landing it at the X Games, take me through as much of that as you can recall.
The event was the best trick event. We got 20 minutes to do whatever we could. Best trick. One trick, that's all it takes. And my best trick at that time in my life was a varial 720, which is basically a 720 spin with spinning the board an extra 180, which means the board does a 900 and your body does a 720. That was the best trick I knew. I'd only done it once in my life. And early in the event, I made a varial 7. That's my best trick. Where do I go from here? And right. I thought, well, then I'll start trying 900s. So that is the next best trick that I would like to do. It really, my intention was just to show the crowd, oh, this is, one day this will happen. And like I said, once I started spinning it, my spin was consistent. I was spotting the landing. Our time ran out. I didn't care. I just wanted to make the trick. I didn't care if it counted. This was my moment. This was my focus. It was my obsession for so many years. When I finally did make it, and I was riding up the ramp, I really didn't believe that I made it. I was riding along the flat. I was on the next wall, and it wasn't until I looked up and saw my peers all rushing the ramp towards me that I realized that it actually had worked. Because when I finally looked up, I wasn't facing the crowd. I was facing the people I was skating with or against. And all of them were running towards me, and I thought, that's it, I really did it. It happened. I can't believe that's it. And for me, it was it was a huge relief. That was it. It was like, oh, it's done. Yeah, I don't have to do it anymore. It's over. That trick, I could put it to bed. That was it. I didn't think of, that people were watching it at home, or that was inspiring somehow. It was just like, oh, finally.
Yeah, how did landing that change your life?
People would stop me on the street in airports and visibly be excited. You're the guy, 900. Like, how do you even know what 900 is?
Right.
Like this, these people that are stopping me, they don't even know what skateboarding is all about, and they know what a 900 is, and that was exciting to me, but I didn't realize how much resonance it had, and that it inspired kids to pick up skateboarding. I mean, there were a lot of kids that told me they started skating the next day. That's amazing to me.
I remember in your book you talked about how, before you did it, before you ended up actually successfully landing it, I forget the skater, but he called some of the leading skateboard photographers out, saying he was going to do it on this day.
Oh, yeah.
And you said you would have been basically thrilled if he landed it. And I'm thinking when I'm reading this, what do you mean? You've been, trying to make this happen for a decade.
Well, and
don't you want to be the first?
It was because the quest had gone on so long and we had been put through so much, just in terms of
Exactly. I mean, that's why you want to be first, right? I mean,
yeah, but still, but there's also a mentality, I think, in skating as well. If it has been done, it's much easier to get to for you to do it because you know it's possible. And as much as I love chasing a new thing and testing limits, if I know that someone's done it, it's a lot easier for me to go, okay, let's make this one. This is possible. I'm capable of it. When a trick like that was such a milestone, the top 4 or 5 best, most qualified guys to do it can't do it. You start to question, is it really possible? And that was what we were going through, and it was fun. It was like one of us had to just shake it up and say, it is possible. Here it is, I did it.